What's up, Taiwan? I'm Erika Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. We begin here in Taiwan, where 20 petitions have been submitted to recall politicians from the opposition Kuomintang. As Erika Liu reports, it shows the deep political divisions between the ruling Democratic Progressive Party and its rivals in the legislature.
Tens of thousands of signatures delivered to Taiwan's Central Election Commission, with hopes of bringing about big political change here. It's the first step in a bid to recall lawmakers from the main opposition party, the Kuomintang or the KMT. Petition organisers say the party's legislators are not fit for office, with some accusing KMT lawmakers of working with China to subvert Taiwan society.
但中共和蓝白立委都忘了，台湾政治的主体不是政党，而是握有选票的公民。台湾的公民现在站出来说，我们是国家的主人。蓝白立委，你们恶仆卖主，想把我们的国家搞垮。
There is a big political divide here in Taiwan over how to deal with China, which claims the self-ruled island nation as part of its territory. The ruling Democratic Progressive Party, led by President Lai Ching-te, wants to keep China at arm's length, while opposition parties prefer closer ties with Beijing. It's a difference that has descended into turmoil since elections last year, when the DPP won the presidency but lost control of the legislature. It's led to brawls between lawmakers and protests on the street as the opposition passed controversial reform bills and slashed the central government budget. To escape this deadlock and shift the balance of power in its favour, DPP caucus whip Ke Jianming called for a mass recall bid to oust KMT lawmakers. Petitions now delivered include removing the party's caucus whip and Secretary General from their seats.
但是我们也希望呢，当家不到事。新年应该欣欣向荣，而不是一个欣欣向霸哦。
Partisan clashes show no sign of easing here in Taiwan, and the KMT has launched its own bid to oust DPP lawmakers. Recalling politicians, just the latest battle in the country's fraught political war. Hank Xu and Rick Lauert for TaiwanPlus.
A global trade war is looming as economies around the world promise retaliation against the U.S. president's trade tariffs. Donald Trump's plans are scheduled to take effect on Tuesday, leaving little time for negotiation between the U.S. and some of its biggest trading partners. Reese Ayers reports.
México no quiere confrontación.
Negotiate or retaliate. Countries around the world are responding to US President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs, set to strike some of the country's biggest trading partners on Tuesday, with southern neighbor Mexico both promising retaliation and urging Trump to come to the negotiating table.
Le dije, a ver, presidente Trump, en vez de estar peleándonos con tarifas, pues vamos hablando. Así se entiende la gente. Vamos hablando, vámonos comunicando, vámonos coordinando, pero no.
And to the north, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced Canada's own two-stage 25% tariff plan on $107 billion worth of American goods, matching the taxes Trump levied on Canada and Mexico. And speaking directly to the American people, Trudeau warned that it's citizens who will pay the price for a trade war.
It will raise costs for you, including food at the grocery store, gas at the pump. It will impede your access to an affordable supply of vital goods crucial for U.S. security.
Across the Atlantic, European leaders are meeting in Brussels in anticipation of their own round of tariffs, which Trump has said will definitely happen, with the European Commission saying they'll respond firmly to any unfair action. The UK, however, could be spared if, Trump says, a deal is struck.
Well, Prime Minister Starmer has been very nice. We've had a couple of meetings. We've had numerous phone calls. We're getting along very well. We'll see whether or not we can balance out our budget. With the European Union, it's $350 billion deficit. So obviously something's going to take place there.
And as the US dollar soars, stock markets across Europe and Asia, including in Taiwan, tumbled on Monday as investors digested the impact of the tariffs. And while China says they plan to file a lawsuit with the World Trade Organization over Trump's 10% tariffs on their imports, a report from the Wall Street Journal says that Beijing has plans to propose restoring the unused Phase 1 trade agreement from 2020, a deal that required China to increase purchases of American products by $200 billion over a 2-year period. Taipei, meanwhile, has said it will offer support to Taiwanese businesses affected by Trump's tariffs to relocate to the United States. Taiwan's tech companies are particularly vulnerable, as many have factories in both Mexico and China. Amid foggy details and the threat of further tariffs, economists are warning that the global economy is facing a lot of uncertainty.
We don't know exactly how Mexico and China will retaliate. We don't know whether there will be a quick negotiated solution and the tariffs are gone by the end of this week. And then perhaps most importantly, we don't know whether this is a limited action just focused on these countries, or whether this is the start of a broader trade war that Trump intends to engage in with the rest of the world and with the UK and Europe, for example.
Despite admitting that US citizens will feel the financial pinch in the short term, Donald Trump remains firm on his America First policy, even if that means frustrating some of the US's closest political and economic allies, and risks plunging the world into a global trade war of unprecedented scale. James Lin, Rosie Greninger and Reese Ayres for TaiwanPlus.
Investors here in Taiwan are among those feeling the pain as local stocks tumble after news of Trump's announced tariffs. On the first day of trading after the Lunar New Year holiday, the main index dipped about 3.5%. Shares in chip-making giant TSMC fell even further by about 5.7%. But analysts say Trump's tariffs would likely backfire or could trigger a global trade war. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is on his first overseas trip since taking office, and he's chosen Panama as his first destination, where relations are on edge after U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to take back the Panama Canal. Louise Watt reports.
A message to US President Donald Trump. Panama is not for sale, and the country should be respected. These residents in the capital, Panama City, are protesting a visit by the US's top diplomat, Marco Rubio, amid threats by Trump to retake control of the Panama Canal.
Quiere anexarse Canadá, quiere invadir México, quiere tomar el canal, quiere arrancar Groenlandia a Dinamarca. Quiere decir que Trump lo que está buscando es la tercera guerra mundial. Y los pueblos del mundo y los gobiernos del mundo están obligados a derrotar el delirio del emperador delirante norteamericano.
Panama has rejected Trump's claims that it's charging the US exorbitant fees to use the key global waterway. But Trump also says China has outsized sway there.
China's running the Panama Canal. That was not given to China, that was given to Panama foolishly. But they violated the agreement, and we're going to take it back, or something very powerful is going to happen.
Panama and Beijing deny that China is running the canal, which the US built more than 100 years ago, and which Panama has fully operated since 1999. The 82-kilometer waterway links the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, allowing ships to bypass the long and dangerous route around South America, saving them lots of time and money. It's central to the world economy. Around 5% of global maritime trade passes through the Panama Canal every year, and 40% of all US container traffic travels through it, making it a key US concern. But Trump and his new Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, are also concerned about expanding Chinese influence in Latin America. On his first trip abroad since taking office, Rubio told Panama's president that the country could face potential retaliation if it doesn't reduce China's role in the Panama Canal, something President José Raúl Mulino rejected.
No cabe duda que el canal es operado por nuestro país y así seguirá siendo. Yo no creo que haya habido discrepancia en eso.
But offering an olive branch to Washington, Molino did say Panama would not be renewing its agreement with China's flagship Belt and Road Infrastructure Initiative. Instead, it will seek to work with the US on new infrastructure projects. That's a setback for China, which has been deepening its trade and investment links with Latin America. While Beijing does not operate the Panama Canal, Rubio's visit to it and Trump's focus on it suggests his administration will push back against China's presence in the region at large. Klein Wong and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
OpenAI has launched a new online AI tool that can create in-depth research reports on many subjects. The company says this could replace a significant amount of human labor. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman says the tool, called Deep Research, can, quote, do a single-digit percentage of all economically valuable tasks in the world. In a launch video, the company showed its agent producing reports about science and finance. Deep Research is the second tool released by the company this year. OpenAI has been launching and opening access to many new features in recent weeks, after the Chinese startup DeepSeek shocked the AI industry with its open-source chatbot. Taiwanese actress Barbie Xu has died at age 48. Xu, also known as Big S, died from flu-related pneumonia while traveling in Japan over the Lunar New Year holiday, according to a statement from her sister. Xu was best known for her role in Meteor Garden, a TV drama. Rescue teams are combing steep snow-covered terrain for signs of a hiker who went missing a week ago in northern Taiwan. The hiker got separated from 4 fellow climbers while trying an ascent of Mount Dabajian in Hsinchu County. The search has been ongoing since January 27th, spreading from mountain trails to more remote areas where snow may have covered any earlier tracks.
下雪以后，我们在搜索的时候，最大的问题是雨雪交加，就是下雨，天气都变得非常的恶劣，而且我们必须要在那个建竹林里面去钻，要找寻的时候，全身几乎都会湿掉，会让所有搜救人员陷入到一个低体温的一个状态。
Helicopter crews have also been dispatched to aid in the search. Taiwan's national baseball team has assembled once again, this time as it looks to earn its place at the biggest baseball competition in the world. Leslie Liao has more.
It's out of the Lunar New Year holiday and onto the baseball field. Taiwan's national baseball team will be vying for a spot in the biggest international baseball competition, the World Baseball Classic, at a qualifying tournament later this month. Team Taiwan announced its roster and the players began training together on Monday. Coming hot off of a win at the Premier 12 tournament, Taiwan is looking to recapture some of that baseball magic. While many of the players this time around who will be playing in the qualifying tournament are new, Chen Jiexian, who was pivotal in Taiwan's Premier 12 victory, will return.
我觉得穿上这件衣服啦，就我觉得是一件蛮骄傲的事情。然后自己很幸运能够在短时间，然后第2次参加了，就是近2、3个月吧，然后又穿下了台湾队的球衣，然后很开心，也希望这次能够跟年轻的选手们，然后擦出不一样的火花。
Taiwan will host a leg of the World Baseball Classic qualifiers right here at the Taipei Dome. Teams from Spain, Nicaragua, and South Africa will converge on Taiwan to compete for 2 open spots at next year's World Baseball Classic. With less than a month left, these qualifiers are Team Taiwan's first step to once again claiming baseball glory. Patrick Sun and Leslie Liao in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of Mali's Ogabagna Festival, a celebration of the West African country's local Dogon community and its culture. I'm Erika Liu. Take care and see you next time.